What in the made George stand up in the middle of this sacred Raku church service? Why? Somebody got some splaining to do. George came out of nowhere fast, didn't he? No rhyme or reason at all. And now all of a sudden he's significant in this episode. Let me first give honor to God for this brother. He and his lovely wife. I actually met them at an event here in Atlanta hosted by DIKHAN from All Things Ruthless and Mercedes Millionaire. They're really down to earth. We sat down, we broke bread together, took some pictures for the gram. Pierre Johnson and his wife, lovely, beautiful couple. So shout out to you guys. It was such a pleasure meeting both of you. Now back to this foolery. Why did George interrupt the highest third eye sermon? George has taken it upon himself to go to the punishment trailer on DIKHAN's behalf. DIKHAN is back on the highest bad side yet again for not checking Aaron's little book bag when he and Laura came through the gates a few nights ago. His phone went off during the highest sermon about the man taking on a wife, and he's blaming DIKHAN for it all, of course. But not if George has anything to do with it. George stood up, literally, and told the highest that not only was he responsible for not checking the book bag, but he was also taking DIKHAN's punishment by going to that punishment trailer. Me and the highest little tin hat started tingling. We both thought, are you effing George? Like, what's going on here? He lied about he and Ruth sleeping together. So is he also lying to the highest about he and George's possible midnight rendezvous? George doesn't really fit the part though, right? Like, he's not a River or a William, or like that boy that Elder Mother had parading around the compound like he was a little sick puppy on its chain. No, he does not fit the submissive bill like the others. He's sort of like Manny or Oliver. Like, they're not really built for that. They're too strong, too manly, right? And I didn't even think that DIKHAN was like that for real, like initially, right? I thought that he was just swinging to the other side for a moment. You know, when you go to jail and you just become a BI for protection, just to keep the other triggers off of your you know what, right? But when he started flirting with Andrew, telling him all about what he wanted to do to him, then I was like, nah. He done swung over to the other side and stayed there. But he'd come back and play in the lady ponds whenever he saw fit, right? Hence his dead pregnant girlfriend, hence the affair that he was having with Ruth. And as quiet as it's kept, Jim Jones swung both ways too, allegedly. Now, there was an interview from a documentary that I watched where one of his followers were coming out of the bathroom, right? This is per his testimony. He said it was coming out of the bathroom, and he said that Jim Jones swung his arm around his shoulder, right? And he just simply said, I will F you in the bleep if you want me to. Like, this guy was totally shocked and disgusted. Jim Jones was very blunt and he did not stutter. Something he never expected from him, right? Nor was there any indication of any type of homo vibes from this man whatsoever, per his response in the interview, right? It came as a complete shock to him, and he kindly turned Jim Jones down and told him, I got a wife, I'm not interested in that at all. But Jim was also married, but he did keep a secretary or two close by for whatever, right? So he was certainly a free spirit in that way, allegedly. But I don't think that George and DIKHAN have ever been that way. I mean, from the looks of it on the surface. So why does George have this public display of loyalty for DIKHAN? I mean, that's some hell of an allegiance, ain't it? Let me know your thoughts on this out of the blue devotion from George as it relates to DIKHAN. Why the sudden protection? Let me know your thoughts below. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. And if you're a fan of Tyler Perry's Ruthless, go ahead and sub to this channel for more videos just like this one. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Ruthless TV, you guys, and I'm going to see you on the next one.